Hi, my beloved dear son. Good afternoon. It's another episode of today. And the question today is, what is the best way to write persuasive newsletter on Substack? Question answered today. Okay, let's begin. Let me start by saying you can't write persuasive newsletter if you don't study writing from Nicolas Cole on his YouTube channel, right? Impossible. And if you're not studying right now, that's okay because the problem here is not you, son, okay? I always tell you that. The problem here is not scheduling what time to study writing from Nicolas Cole on his YouTube podcast. So, what happens to you, son, if you don't study writing from Nicolas Cole? Many things. Okay, let me start by saying this first. You will not learn his writing secrets, his writing structures, his writing formulas, his writing mistakes, his writing lessons. Everything, every secrets of persuasive writers. You will not learn it. Why? I mean, seriously, you don't spend time to learn it, to hunt for the ideas, to discover the secrets of Nicolas Cole. Right? It doesn't make sense, right? And if you are not if you don't study writing from Nicolas, seriously, like who are you, son? What are you? What are you doing here in this life? Like it sounds meaningless life. Like if you are not writing, if you don't study writing, like who are you? What's your identity? Right? So if you don't study writing, you don't have identity. You don't have identity as a writer. What else? And what happens to your son if you don't study writing and if he doesn't study writing? So for your son, I mean, you are my son, but your son, the same thing will happen. Why? Because you didn't expose him to Nicolas Cole. You didn't, you lead him by example that, I mean, do you study writing? No. Therefore, your son will not study writing from Nicolas too. Why? Because you lead him by example. That's what you showed him. That's what he see from you. He sees you not studying, not studying writing from Nicolas Cole. So you and your son are both not studying from Nicolas. So it's a lose-lose situation, right? What else? Seriously, like if you are not learning writing from Nicolas, what are you teaching here to your son? You are teaching him that, son, studying writing, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. You can learn it from school, right? What home are you building here? You are building a home of your children here. You're building a home where studying writing from Nicolas or from other writer mentors is acceptable, where writing newsletter is not practiced, where having no mentors like Nicolas is not practiced. Like, what kind of family are you building, son? What kind of environment are you building for your kids? Not writing at home. R- Writing is not part of their routines. Like, what kids are you raising here? You are raising uneducated son, uneducated kids having no writer mentors. I mean, that's that's really sad, right? You're raising kids where they don't write newsletter, they don't write notes, they don't write anything. I mean, what kind of life will you have if you don't write? I'm just really curious. Meaningless, right? So, what does your son deserve? Of course, he deserved to be educated by Nicolas School. He deserved to be coached. He deserved to be mentored. He deserved to be guided. You know, I mean, seriously. For example, let's say, son, let's say you don't know how to cook spaghetti, and at, you would love to cook spaghetti today, since you have no zero idea. Okay, if you don't know how to cook spaghetti, what do you do? Of course, you study how Nicolas Cole cooks spaghetti. You will go to his YouTube account and watch his content, how he cooks spaghetti. What is the first step? What are the ingredients? What are the things not to do? What is the best way to cook spaghetti? How to get that thick sauce? How to get that perfect flavor, right? Same thing with your writing. You need the best ingredients for your writing, just like spaghetti. My point is, a quick reminder, by the way, your first spaghetti, your first attempt, yeah, it's terrible. The pasta is overcooked. The flavor is 2 out of 10, and the sauce is, yeah, not thick, and that's okay. Why? Because for your 100 attempt, for your 100 attempt, your spaghetti will taste better. The flavor is 8 out of 10. The pasta is on point, not overcooked. Same thing with your writing, son. If you write your first newsletter, of course it's terrible. The ideas are scattered. You don't have nothing else to say. Redundant. And for your hundredth newsletter, of course, it's more persuasive. Okay, so that's how it works. That's the analogy I want to give to you. And the question here is, if you don't study writing with from Nicholas, like, do you want your kids to be uneducated? Do you want your kids to be to have not identity? Or even you, son, like, if you don't read, or if you don't study writing from Nicholas, do you want to be an educated dad? You can't persuade your kids to make better decisions, like why they should choose right friends, why they should write. How can you persuade your kids that writing is good, that reading is good, that filming is good, if you can persuade them, right? Like, do you want to be immature, beginner, something like that, right? Because here's the thing, here's the common mistake fathers do. Fathers don't schedule what time he will study writing from Nicolas Cole or whoever mentor writers. Second, father don't schedule their kids what what time he will study. So both of you and your kid, end up not study writing from Nicolas Cole. Why? It's not on your calendar. It's not in your calendar in the first place. So you will forget about it. You will forget about it if you don't schedule it. Right. Exactly. And I know you don't want your kids to be uneducated, right? So what do you need to do here? What's okay, dad? Okay, tell me what do I need to do here? Here's the right thing to do. Here's the best way to write more persuasive. Study, I mean, study writing from Nicolas Cole. How schedule what time to study writing from Nicolas Cole. For instance, if you are free at 2 p.m., study writing at 2 p.m. from Nicolas Cole. And here's what happens if you here's what happens to you, son, if you study writing from Nicolas Cole at 2 p.m. Of course, obviously, you will absolutely learn his writing secrets, writing structure, writing formulas, writing lipsticks, writing lessons, how he writes. Everything about writing, everything about persuasion, everything about education. You will learn that. And so if you have now ideas, if you steal his ideas now, what will you do with it? This time you can apply it to your own newsletter. You can apply it to persuade your kids in real life. So if your kids are complaining like, Dad, why should I read? Now you know how to persuade him. You know what to say, right? Now, what happens to your son if he study writing at 2 p.m. with Nicolas Cole, from Nicolas Cole? Of course, the same thing will happen to your son. He will learn everything about writing, everything about persuasion. Why? Because he sees you. He sees you learning writing at 2 p.m. So he will copy you. He will imitate you. Now, you are study writing at 2 p.m. and now your son is study writing at 2 p.m. to with from Nicolas Cole. So both of you are studying at 2 p.m. and it's a win-win situation, right? So what are you teaching him? So if if both of you are studying writing at 2 p.m. from Nicolas Cole, you're teaching him that, okay, son, we should study writing from Nicolas Cole because this is the best way to learn persuasion. So we write newsletter more persuasively. We can help people make better decisions. We can make people take actions. So we become persuasive. You and me, both of us, become persuasive writers. I mean, don't you want that, right? So what home are you building? What environment are you building for him? Of course, if both of you are study writing at 2 p.m., you're building a environment where writing is non-negotiable, where we're learning writing is the culture, is the normal, it's non-negotiable. I mean, don't you want that? Don't you want your kids to be educated by Nicolas Cole, right? So if you and your kids are writing, so how do they grow up? So your kids grow up educated. Why? Because they hunted Nicolas' ideas. Your kids steal his ideas, his writing. Like, how can we really persuade a person? How can we really make a person take action? They will learn the secrets, right? So you're giving your chance. So what chance are you giving them? You're giving your son a chance to be educated by to be educated to be guided by Nicolas Cole. I mean, if you don't have a mentor here, oh my God, you can't learn to write persuasively faster. It's gonna take time if you do it by yourself. We both of us, we really need mentors here. What else? Now, if there's one lesson that I really want you to remember about this episode, is this: schedule what time you will study writing, and same thing for your son. If you are free at 2 p.m., then go study writing. If your son is free at 2 p.m. too, then go study writing at 2 p.m. You really need Nicolas Cole to be a persuasive writer. That's it. That is the one lesson I want you to remember. And now, how, Dad, how can I be consistent with studying writing from Nicolas? Of course, follow each day. Follow that schedule each day. So if you decided 2 p.m. is the best time to learn writing, study writing from Nicolas at 2 p.m. each day, non-negotiable. Even you are not ready, even if you don't feel like it, right? And Dad, how do I know if I build this habit already? Or how do I know if my son built this habit already? Of course, if your son studies at 2 p.m. from Nicolas Cole on YouTube on his YouTube channel without you reminding him every day, that's it. That's how you measure it. That's how you know your son built this studying habit. And for you, son, same thing for you. If you study at 2 p.m. each day, you built this habit. Of course, you can do it because it is what I do. If I can do it, you can do it too, right? And you know what? One of your common objection right now is, but Dad, okay, that sounds good, but I don't have time. I am busy racing with my kids. Audit, audit your 24 hours. You have 24 hours. Sacrifice 1 hour. Sacrifice 1 hour of your sleep. You just need 1 hour. And now, listen, if because your son will make excuses here. I mean, if you are persuading your son, it's one of his common excuses. Like, that sounds good, but okay, I forgot. Hold on, I forgot the excuses of your son. So okay, now I just checked the newsletter. Now, one of the excuses of your son, and he will not take action. He will not study writing. He will say, "But Dad, I don't. understand why I should study writing from Nicolas. Tell him it's the best way to learn write newsletter persuasively. It's the best way to learn persuasion so you can help other kids too. If you write newsletter persuasively, you are helping other kids, right? You are helping other kids become respectful and kind kid like you, son. Tell him that. Okay? So those are the common objections and excuses. So what else? What are the other excuses that you will not take action from this? You don't have time. Why writing? What writing is about? I mean, the point of this episode is why. Like, what's the emotional anchor? Why we should care? Study writing from Nicholas is this: we need mentor, a writer mentor to guide us, to educate us, so we learn persuasion better, faster. That's the point. Okay, and you can do it, of course. And thank you for choosing to schedule to study writing from Nicholas. Thank you for choosing to schedule your son's schedule to study writing from Nicholas too. And I really appreciate that. Okay, and that's it for today's episode. And now, story of the day. Okay, I think we have many stories today. Let me start with yesterday. My nephew Prince. We were eating dinner, and he told me, yesterday their teachers let them watch monsters in the afternoon. Like, what? What are my nephew learns? What are my nephews are learning from school? Watching monsters. Oh my god! That was so funny. And then while we were eating, he told me that one of his classmates, Gavin, he was farting and he fell asleep. Like, what? My nephew is really a good storyteller, and I don't know if which is which is true. That's story number one. And story number two, yep, the idea of if if I can cook the best pancit, I can write persuasively too. And I have been cooking for more than 10 years. Imagine more than 10 years of cooking, and I know how to cook the best, delicious, savory, umami pancit noodles. And I realized I need 10 years of writing too, so I can write more persuasively. And that's story number two. Story number three is I have this idea earlier that because when we were kids, we didn't have a choice to be named, to be labeled. Our parents named us. So I was thinking if I will rename myself. Okay, I will probably name myself Emmanuel Ryder. Emmanuel Ryder. Ryder as in writer. And if I will introduce myself, hi, I am Ryder. That's so funny. And probably son, your name will be Emmanuel Ryder. And story number four, it's from DG on Substack, and the audacity to believe in yourself with no physical evidence, meaning to say, let's say you are exercising. If you believe that every time you exercise is a win, that's a good mindset. But if you get frustrated because you don't see abs on your first exercise, come on, it's, it's not realistic, right? Check your abs in 100 days. Just kidding. And another story is from Sahil Bloom, and he was saying about calendar. Behind me is a calendar. There's a pink and there's yellow green, and he was saying it's a good idea to have something we are excited about in our calendar. In our calendar, for example, me, every time I wrote a newsletter each day, that's that's how I measure. Okay, today I have a good day because I wrote a newsletter. That's my bare minimum. Like whatever happens, M- money, without money, with money or without money, whatever happens. If I just write one newsletter a day, I'm good. My day is good. My day is great. And story number six, five. Um, my nephew Liam and his mom. So I was washing my laundry at 12 noon, and Liam was crying, non-stop crying, like like right, really, really loud for such a long time. And then his mom got pissed off, really, really angry. And then when my mother picked his up, or my mother took him, brought him at home, we noticed there's a scratch on his cheeks, and I heard his mom either slapped him or scratched his face. And it's my aha moment where his mom punished him, scratched him, or slapped him, so he listened. So if we are punishing our kids so they listen, it's not a good idea. And okay, I read the room. I think I'm good at reading the room. So since my nephew Liam is bored, he was bored at home because there was no even window. He couldn't see anything, just his phone. So his dad is going to work now, and then he wanted to go with his dad. So what happens was he was crying. He's using crying to get what he wants. So it's kind of manipulation thing. Like you are using to cry, you are crying, so you get what you want. So it's kind of part of manipulation, umbrella of manipulation. And I pity for him because he was just bored and he want to go outside. And then his mom scratched him because for the sake of listening. I mean, that was really, really, I mean, that's not how we raise our kids here. And then story number seven, mom brought two breads, two types of bread, like donut and the yellow thing. And I was like, what? My parent is bringing bread, is bringing sugar at home. She was giving me bread, and I was like, wow, like everything starts with parents. Like, what do we give our son? What do we give our kids? Is it bread? Is it nutritious food? Like that was really that was really I mean, not a good choice of food. Bread, sugars. And earlier we were eating lunch with my nieces Micah and Shima, and then Micah and I asked them, um what did you do at school in the morning, and then she said they was just dancing Zumba, and I was like, what? I mean, I didn't react something like that, but inside me, I thought, what? Kids learn Zumba in the morning the whole day? Like, what are my nieces learning at school? What? It doesn't make sense. Like, for me, school doesn't make sense. Like, what specifically are they learning, right? And also, I asked Shimi, like, what did you do at school? She said, I don't know. And like, what are you learning at school, right? And then I asked them what did they eat for break time, recess. And then my Micah told me she ate goto. It's a porridge, rice porridge, and then shomai, something like that. And then I'm not sure if it's shomai, but she bought fries. Like, what? School sells um unnutritious food? No, school sells not not nutritious food. Like, what kind of food is that? That's why school is a school is a place where everything is random. Random foods, random classmates, random behaviors, random words. Everything 80% is random. So uh like, how do we learn if it's random, right? I mean, it's a good topic to talk about. And then, and Mike and Shimi again, and all the time, every day, each day, every time they go to school, like, Shimi was not listening to her sister. That's why every time Mike screams to fetch her or to call her, she was really stressed all the time, each time, because she was not listening. And it's like, what? This is not this is not good. Not listening is not good. Oh my god! Like right now, my nephew is playing right now, and they are saying, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck. Like, where did they learn that? And everyone is saying that. I mean, my niece, my nephew, and my cousin, they are saying that, and they don't know. I mean, the surrounding yourself with people who speaks like that, I mean, it's not a good choice. And then earlier, I had power interruption, so I decided at 2 p.m. So I decided to get decayed coconut husk, and then to from my uncle Harry and my aunt Diling, and then we were talking about life. I told him that I will be living here. I will be staying here for 5 years, and then I will have my own family at the age of 30. And then it was a good topic to talk about. And right now, I am going to continue gardening, digging now, and yep. Thank you for listening for my story, son, and see you tomorrow. Now let me end this. Let me close the camera.